I'm in a gambling group chat, right?
Oh, I knew you were gambling. I don't think I knew about your group chat. Oh,
yeah, when I'm in a gambling group chat. Thursday night, by the way, I gotta manage to put a wager on football tonight, I think. I don't even know what it is.
Oh, really? Who's playing?
I have no idea. I don't know. I was trying to glean topics from the group chat, but
I was thinking Donna should get into giving betting advice.
Wait a second. What's going on here?
No?
Play audio.
What play what?
Did I send the group chat audio?
Did you record yourself talking like you do sometimes? What are you doing?
I don't know. I feel like I sent them audio. I don't even know
You
what I sent.
feel like you sent them audio?
You sent a voice message. Okay, I sent a voice message. I guess.
Why did you send a voice message?
I guess I must have just sent what we were just saying. By the way, talk again.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
You seem to be coming out very low.
Do I? I'm not doing anything different. My mouth is close to the microphone.
Check 1 2.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Well, I guess if you're going to mistakenly send audio, that's some of the audio that is okay to send.
About gambling to the gambling group chat.
Well, right. Or just show audio, you know.
True. We do know we're being recorded right now, so that's good.
Yeah. So nobody broke the law. So do you want to start with the Kamala stuff again? I forgot how much we got into it last night. We've been
We didn't do that much Kamala last night, to be honest.
Okay, so she was on Stephanie Rule.
We did talk about her being on Stephanie Rule. I think you played one cut of her from there.
Yeah.
Why don't you swing that door closed so we're at least likely to alert the baby that we're doing stuff right
Okay.
now.
All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't have any salacious audio. That's good.
That's good, yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's go to Kamala.
Photos, maybe.
Photos,
Don't
absolutely.
accidentally send the gambling group chat any photos.
So many people would be made so happy if I did, Alice. I gotta tell you. There is actually there's a. I won't get to it, but in the group chat, you know that girl Taylor Mathis. She does bets. She got in a fight.
Is she the one that was she and the other one from the radio station, Lucy Bird, got in a fight about who invented walking bets?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So she posted. I just sent this to you, a picture of herself in a bikini top.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to look at the picture. I just sent it to you.
Okay.
She posts, or this is on Twitter. Everybody can see it. She says, "I've never been somewhere so beautiful, Aruba." And there she is. She's in the water with a bikini top.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks pretty, right?
Yeah.
And standard, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on under her left armpit? There's something happening there.
Oh, I've never seen something like that.
Yeah. So I'm wondering here. I know that women always. I mean, there's a screening process. I'm not allowed to just put pictures of you up.
Oh yeah.
You have to check it. So because all women lie. Women are all a lie.
Mm-hmm.
To one degree or another. But like, is it worth it to lie? Let's say she's doing something here to look significantly thinner than she really is. But you can tell, like, somewhere that something's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about that.
But at some point, like, if you're 50 pounds overweight, do you still bother?
Yeah.
No matter what.
Oh, yeah. All the overweight people I know are, like, the most intense with the makeup and the filters and, like, making sure photos of them look good and arranging themselves in the photo and approving the photo and... Like, the most overweight people I know are most into that.
So, and that's not... that, and I guess I understand that. But is that because, like, living the online lie is a pretty good facsimile for the real thing?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Well,
I mean, I think trans people do the same thing. Like, post very misleading photos of themselves
Mhm.
and like create an online version of themselves that you could never mistake for the real thing when you meet them in person. But they like, and I think a lot of people, especially women, I think a lot of them have a very distorted self-perception, and the photos that they post of themselves are definitely a lie. I do enjoy that. I mean, it's almost to the point of trolling, right? I've never been somewhere so beautiful, and then the photos of her, like, you can't really see Aruba in the photo, correct?
Yeah, you can.
Not much of it. There's not a lot of Aruba in that photo. Mostly it's a photo of her. That's like the joke with women, right? That women can't post a photo of anything without themselves being in the photo.
I don't understand what you're saying.
There's an online joke about women that every photo women post is just of themselves. Like that they're like, "Oh,
Oh, I see.
look at this beautiful place when I'm on vacation," and it's a picture of them.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Look at this new
Right.
like look at what I made for dinner, and it's a selfie of them in front of what they made for dinner. Like that women never post just like a photo of something not themselves. They always have to be in the photo. Or like the joke that women don't understand what POV means. You know
Right.
how people always post like POV blah 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 blah. Well, like a lot of women when they post POV then post a video or a photo of themselves doing something. It's not a POV. Like POV means point of view.
Right. Oh,
So it's supposed to be a photo of like what you would see if you were that
if you were
person.
standing right in front of her.
Right,
It's
but normally
and slightly
women,
above her, well, she sucks everything in.
but women usually post POV and then do the video as though it's with themselves in the video. You know what I mean? Like they don't understand
Right.
what, like the joke is always like, oh, another woman not understanding what POV means or whatever. Like,
So what do you think this
wow,
is
Aruba's so beautiful. Click selfie. Like,
you're a psychologist by training,
Mhm.
Alice.
of course.
What does this do for you? What is this doing? Is this simply just a mirror? Because in 1995 you couldn't there was no you posed for a picture and found out a week later how it came out.
I know. It was huge when people would do like when there were places that would develop photos in like a few hours. You could get them like the same day.
Right. Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I had a friend who did like a birthday party like that one time where we had a bunch of like props and I guess it was a very early version of a photo booth sort of because she had like all props and everything and little disposable cameras and we took a bunch of photos and then her parents ran out while we were doing cake and ice cream
Right. Oh, wow.
and got the film developed and like brought it back so we could see the photos at the end of the party. So that was like a novelty that you could get photos developed in like a few hours.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So yeah, no, I think women do consider it a mirror, and I think women consider that what they see in the mirror or the persona that they're creating online or on their Instagram account is like the real them.
And this is the same way.
That's the true me.
Of making an unrealistic face in the mirror that you don't have that blue steel look generally, but you're doing it in the mirror because you want to. You're a big one of these. From the first time you ever slept over my house, that you started making these odd faces into the mirror. And you look very attractive, obviously. But
well, part of that is like the putting on makeup faces, like you go like this to like be able to put stuff on. So some of that.
I'm just wondering, like psychologically,
yeah.
what that does for people. Like, what validation are people getting now that they didn't get back then, and which one is more healthy? Because back then, I
don't think today is healthy like at all. I think people have an incredibly distorted self-perception.
Yeah, I think, and I would think that would be right too. Although the people were vain back then too, and I think there were the beauty.
I mean, but if you think about it, ancient people didn't even like have mirrors. That's a relatively modern phenomenon.
That is kind of amazing.
Like you wouldn't know what you looked like unless you happened to look into very still water or something. Like other people would know what you looked like, but you wouldn't.
That is amazing, and so. I wonder if. So then, what was the beauty standard 500 years ago?
I mean, there were still beauty standards.
So was the Mona Lisa the quintessential beautiful woman?
That certainly in that era, I think that was like a beautiful person. I mean, I don't know, if you look at Italian Renaissance paintings, a lot of them look kind of similar to that. There's plenty out there, like Botticelli or something. If you find some of those, I think that's right in there with the beauty standard at that time. But yeah, like obviously Queen Elizabeth looked that way with the hair pulled back because like high foreheads were considered a big beauty standard thing at that time. I mean,
How
there were
much?
portraits
How
that
much
that
of that
existed.
is how much of that is taught versus how much of that is simply nature? Because I have a friend, very good-looking guy. A lot of people generally personality would repelled women, but in the '90s, this guy went to this party. He was very good-looking. This guy,
Hmm.
very good-looking, and so women would immediately, because his facial features were perfect, women immediately would like him. He started talking to them eventually, and then they'd hate him. But he, in the '90s, went to this party. I wasn't there, and managed to get in this big apartment full of flight attendants. And
Hmm.
some of you listening will remember this. He managed to get these 3 flight attendants to take topless pictures
Hmm.
at this party. He was good looking and confident. I'm sure that by the end of the night they all hated him because so like these
So like on like his camera,
a
they let
digital
him.
camera. Yep.
Hmm.
And yes, because because it was a breakthrough for everybody because we saw it was attached to an email or whatever, and we're like, oh my goodness, and pixels would load slowly and slowly and slowly. But like that's all nature. These women seeing somebody like that's all immediately signaling nature and a transaction for wanting to please the handsome person. Like,
I mean, I think some things are universal. I think women's beauty standards are more flexible than men's because a lot of those are based in and around like fashions and trends that change. And I think women's trends like tend to change more than men's do, right? And women perform a lot of their beauty stuff for other women more so than for men. Some of it's for the benefit of men, obviously, and to
well,
attract men, but a lot of it is for other women. So a lot of that and those types of things, those are based around, I think, more trends, those parts. But clearly, because you don't necessarily look at a picture of the Mona Lisa or a picture of like, the first Queen Elizabeth and think like, wow, what a hottie.
right.
And so I think a lot of those things, especially like the beauty standards with the makeup and stuff, like a lot of that is more trend based.
Okay. And
But
it's Peterson,
but I think a lot of things, and obviously I think like weight standards go up and down a little bit within a range, but I
yes,
don't think there's any culture in which like people that are like hugely obese are considered super attractive.
right. Maybe at a time when food was scarce and you showed, I don't know. Yeah, I think you're probably right because you don't resemble the physique of the opposite sex.
Yeah, I mean within a range,
Right.
obviously, but not. I think there's limits to that.
I've also found that I think that men obviously are attracted to women, but
Mhm.
will take the feelings of other men can be swayed.
Mhm.
So if a man finds a woman attractive and actually does, if his boys all tell him that she's not or she's funny looking or she's whatever, I found it to be my experience that can knock like it matters if the council if the committee also approves.
Right.
And I in my own life I have made decisions
Mhm.
poor decisions to walk past a couple of women in my life who were beautiful and cool because the dudes all said no.
Mhm.
Um, but I found that women, I found anyway, if they're touched just by the physicality of a person,
Mhm.
could give a bleep.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
that's true.
like,
Yeah,
like
women don't care as much what other people think in that sense.
Oh, totally.
They care a lot what other people think about themselves.
Okay.
And I think they care about, like, how other people feel about their social status. You know, like, I think women like dating people who are rich or famous or powerful.
Yes.
You know, but I don't think that they care if, like, other people think that their boyfriend is hot.
Right. That probably can't hurt. But
Yeah, but I don't think it's, like, a deal breaker for women, generally
yes,
speaking.
that's why you see a lot of women who date like funny looking guys, or just they see something about them.
Yeah.
There's something like there, and it doesn't matter. And guys resent it. The committee resent it. It's like, wait a second, how is this happening? She shouldn't be
With him.
Exactly. Have all the better things. She should be with me.
Right.
So the reason that it all came up, in my mind, this came up. One, I didn't want to talk about politics to start out. I just want to talk about people for 1 second. Two, it to me it gets to essentially I get to spike the football because I am dating a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
Currently. But also like Pat Ford. You know Patrick Ford, one of the drips in the Kirk Minahan Show Network.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great guy. They've got a great show.
Mm-hmm.
It is so mundane, and it's meant to be.
Yeah.
But it's serious. Like it's like office statistics, methods, operational
I like
things.
their show.
So do I. So do I. But I mean, it's a deep dive into like the stuff happening in the office and procedures and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
It's very unique. It's so unique that it could blow up because it's kind of like almost Dilbert in a way.
Oh yeah, people
You know?
like that stuff.
Yeah, especially if you're...
I mean, I think Office Space has done it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. TPS reports and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
to an extent, even The Office.
So Pat Ford.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when you denigrated him on the show?
I did not denigrate
Tell
him.
people what you said.
I said this was on the Leach's show. I said that Kirk and John and Warren both looked good.
Shirtless.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right.
But Pat Ford was also shirtless.
Right. You did not give him...
I did not mention... So that's not denigrating anybody.
Well, he was left not on the altar. It is exclusionary. So, Pat...
I would not say you look good shirtless.
You would not say.
No.
Yeah, but...
If you were shirtless at a show.
If you said I look good shirtless, then you need to be in an insane asylum. But you are attracted to me physically.
Yes.
So, I mean,
you're warm and you have strong arms that you put around me and stuff.
Don't you ever want to reconcile the two? So here's my thing.
That's not the most important thing to me.
So here's the thing.
But I'm not like, oh my gosh, you have the body of a Greek god or something.
What god would this? Fatulous? Would I be? So anyway, Pat Ford now, Alice, is on Ozempic.
Oh.
So is it possible that's all it took to not get favorable mention by a beautiful woman?
No, I'm sure he just is looking out for his health and stuff.
MILF? I don't know. I think I don't know. I think a woman can say something that hits you in the right way, and I think men too. I think a guy could say to you, oh, definitely you would starve yourself for 7 months if somebody noticed a fat picture of you. There's no doubt about it. And I think that...
I don't need anybody else to notice, though.
Right, but
I see it all just fine.
But I do think that men can make decisions like that based on a comment or the lack of a comment or something. It doesn't... I mean, there are a lot of inputs every day that could get you. Like,
I don't think Pat Ford is worrying about whether or not I think he looks good shirtless.
If you Google Tom Shattuck wife, it shows the beautiful Hollywood actress.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. It shows up when I was at the Super Bowl Radio Row. What's her name? From Beverly Hills 90210.
Oh, right. I know who you mean.
She's
the one who
activist.
did the Putin video.
Yes.
Something. Yeah, her like boyfriend was actually mad at you or something.
Yes. What was her name? Annalyn McCord.
Okay, right. Yes.
So we talked and we had a great time at Radio Row, and she sat
Mhm.
around and we like shot the breeze because she was very much like a chick you could have a beer with, and
Yeah.
while her handler was waiting, like we just shot the breeze, and she thought it was funny the whole thing about us dating, whatever. But the thing is that had she told me that you're 40 pounds away from me, like really hooking up with you, I would have absolutely not eaten at all. I mean, not that I wasn't married and like there were some other things in the way. And she
How come you don't want to starve yourself for me?
Because I'm spoiled. I mentioned that in the chat today. That it's your fault that I'm fat.
Why is it my fault? You're
Because
fat.
I still get.
I make delicious, healthy food all the time that you could partake in. Did you
Yes.
see the recipe I sent you today for zucchini fritters?
Yeah, get out of here with that.
They look good.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
They're made with like feta cheese and stuff.
No.
They look really good. And
But
dip
what
it
I'm
in
saying
tzatziki.
is the power of beautiful women in handsome men, etc. I get rewarded for bad behavior.
So are you saying I should cut you off?
No. Oh, no. No. I want all the things.
Okay.
I want to be George eating in bed. You know what I mean?
No,
Well, that's why we're going to get to these cuts. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so let's go down to here. Kamala Harris. Let's play a couple of these cuts. This is with Stephanie Rule.
Over the last 4 years, there have been tremendous economic wins, and you've just laid out a big plan. But still, polling shows that most likely voters still think Donald Trump is better to handle the economy. Why do you think that is?
Once again, the question is being set up on a little T-ball tee for her ready to go.
Right.
You've had so many wins. The economy's so great. Why do you think the voters haven't quite figured out how great you are yet?
Right. And the Kamala's answers are not great. Here's another answer. That one's just a question because that was more visual to show you that Kamala grows nervous looking in this interview.
Right.
Because she's nervous.
And assistance to state and local governments around transit dollars. And looking holistically at the connection between that and housing. And looking holistically at the incentives we in the federal government can create for local and state governments to actually engage in planning in a holistic manner that includes prioritizing affordable housing. And assistance to state and local governments around transit.
That's not good. I
Yeah.
am somebody who speaks for 3 hours
What's
a day.
assistance around transit dollars, by the way? What does that mean?
It's holistic.
Does that mean grants? Does that mean
And I love the idea of holistic means that we can break it out in several different pronged categories. You know, so in other words, I've got more information that we have time for me to deliver to you, which I could.
I really know a lot of details about a lot of this, but
Exactly.
I can't quite share them with you.
So the
here.
approach is going to be holistic. So just take more. That's something that
It's kind of like root causes.
well, right.
We're handling the border. I'm dealing with the root causes. It's very complicated. It involves streetlights in Honduras, like you wouldn't totally understand. But it's we're definitely we're getting at those root causes totally.
Well, right. And it's not like the moment you start opting in for holistic, then you've opted out of having an exchange, a real exchange. And it's amazing. Here's her on immigration.
There are people there that are stressed, that feel that they're at capacity. Communities around the country that have legal immigration, many have said we're at capacity. And many feel like the government has said to them, well, adapt, sit down, be quiet. This is how it is. What would a Harris administration do for those communities who've taken in many, many legal immigrants but are at capacity?
Now, by the way, you know that Stephanie Rule said, Kamala, I'm going to ask you about immigration because it's dragging you down.
Right.
So please just have a plan ready. Please.
Although people in the blue states are saying that they don't want this. So can you be ready on this one?
Right.
Well, first of all, we do have a broken immigration system, and it needs to be fixed. And if we take a step back, months ago, some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress came together with others, proposed a border security bill. That would have put 1,500 new border agents on the border to help those hardworking border agents who are there right now working around the clock. Would have put more money into stemming the flow of fentanyl, which is killing Americans around our country and devastating.
Remember, she started this with months ago. Mm-hmm. People are not buying this. This is not an answer.
Oh, yeah.
What would you do? What I would do is we had a piece of legislation that got shut down. That's what I would do. Because Trump shut it down.
Right.
No, say what you do.
Also, I have bad news for her, which is that if Trump can stop her from handling the border right now while he's not president, he's going to continue to be not president during the next term if she's elected. So if Trump from the sidelines by, eating popcorn while she tries to pass a border bill can somehow stop her from fixing the border, then he's still going to be able to do that in 2025 when he's still not president if she's elected. So if she has a big plan for how to handle immigration and it can be derailed by somebody who's a civilian saying, no, I don't think this bill is a good idea, then maybe she doesn't really have a plan for immigration.
Right. We need to have a plan that includes a world in which Donald Trump is alive.
Exactly.
Would have put more resources into our ability to prosecute transnational criminal organizations, which in my career I've prosecuted.
That's another one she keeps going back to.
Well, also people, like you pointed out, people are now starting to ask, she keeps pointing at all these, prosecutions that she's done, and there's no, real video of her out there, of her being a prosecutor, no transcripts out there of her being a prosecutor. There doesn't really seem to be a lot of, Kamala Harris in the courtroom kind of stuff.
No, it's shocking how little there is.
Donald Trump got word of the bill, realized it was going to fix a problem he wanted to run on, and told him to kill the bill, don't put it up for a vote. He killed a bill that would have actually been a solution because he wants to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And that's part of what needs to be addressed. And my pledge is that when elected president, if the American people will have me, I will bring that bill back and I will sign it into law. And we need
how is it going to pass, Kamala? She'll bring it back.
Well,
Donald Trump will still have a cell phone available to him, and he'll still be able to call people and tell them not to vote for it.
Stop killing the bill.
And that includes what we need to do to fortify not only our border, but deal with the fact that we also need to create pathways for people to earn citizenship.
Right
now that
there.
cut's been going around a lot.
Now that's something.
Yeah.
That's something. That answers what are you going to do?
And that also answers why this bill got killed, frankly.
With the amnesty or the money for Ukraine?
Yeah, the border bill. That they want amnesty.
Yeah, hang on one second.
So you can't trust the Biden administration or the future Harris administration with any of this stuff because you know that they're just going to push for amnesty. They're not going to fix any of these problems. This doesn't work if the people running the country and running all the departments that are in charge of the border, if they actually want everybody in here. Right. And that's the problem. We see that with the Haitian crisis. That's why Kamala doesn't want any focus. You'll notice the media has shut up about the Haitian migrant thing for the most part now. They've given up on this.
Right.
Because they know it's really bad because they keep saying they're actually legal immigrants. Yeah. Kamala Harris flew all these people in here and dumped them in these towns.
Well, absolutely.
So the border bill with extra security funding doesn't fix that. But that would require her to be able to have a conversation about the actual substance of the issue and whether or not, some of these people should even be here in the first place.
Right.
And she's not capable of having that conversation because she, of course, wants everybody crossing the border to get to be in here.
Right, exactly. And then she's also got plans for the middle class.
Vice President, you just laid out your economic vision for the future.
Yeah.
But still, there are lots of Americans who don't see themselves in your... For those who say these policies aren't for me, what do you say to them?
Well, if you are hardworking, if you have the dreams and the ambitions and the aspirations of what I believe you do, you're in my plan. You know, I have to tell you, I really love energized by what I know to be the spirit and character of the American people. We have ambition. We have aspirations. We have dreams. We can see what's possible. We have an incredible work ethic. But not everyone has the access to the opportunities that allow them to achieve those things. But we don't lack for those things. But not everyone, you know, gets handed stuff on a silver platter. And so my vision for the economy, I call it an opportunity economy, is about making sure that all Americans, wherever they start, wherever they are, have the ability to actually achieve those dreams and those ambitions, which include, for middle-class families, just being able to know that their hard work allows them to get ahead, right? I think we can't and we shouldn't aspire to have an economy that just allows people to get by. People want to do more than just get by. They want to get ahead.
It's all the
I mean, maybe if we were in a normal economy in a normal time, not post-COVID, like maybe if this were 2012 and she hadn't been in office for 4 years, this like, we need an opportunity economy that allows people to get ahead, that would float.
Right.
Okay. Like, but under these circumstances where she's been in charge for 4 years and everything is terrible for most people, like how can she possibly run on that?
Well, yeah, I totally agree with you. And also, like, how come this guy didn't give us an opportunity economy?
Yeah, where's the opportunity economy been?
Yeah, why would you let us...
If you know all these secrets, go tell Biden he can implement them right now.
Yeah, why would you let us suffer for all this time? It's absolutely amazing. It was a bad showing from her. I'm glad it was a bad showing. I think that you're going to have more and more of these people just ticked off at her. I wouldn't be surprised if it leaked somewhere that Oprah was like, really? Really? Like, you didn't bother? I'm Oprah, and you didn't do any homework for me? Just doing the feel stuff and, you know, and the holistic crap? It's terrible.
It's embarrassing. I mean, I think when you'll see it, see, nobody wants to blow things up right now because they don't know what's going to happen. If she loses, you are going to see these stories come out, right? It's going to be like with the Hillary Clinton campaign, where first they freaked out, but then afterwards there started to be some like breakdown, and people talked about how Bill Clinton thought they should have gone to the Rust Belt states, and he thought she was going to lose, and you know that they. Then the stories started coming out, the finger pointing, that's when you'll start to hear stuff as if she loses.
Right.
And they'll be devastated and in emotional pain for however long, and then they'll start to pick up the pieces and do like a post-mortem on where did we go wrong, if that happens.
Alice Shattuck, can I ask you another question?
Yes.
Thoughts on Eric Adams indicted $10 million in campaign bribes, which to me seems a little ticky-tack.
I mean, I think once again, is there love lost for Eric Adams to go down? Not really. Like, I don't care. But I do think it's interesting that it happened once he started complaining about the migrant stuff.
That's what people are saying. I think, at least some Republicans.
Yeah, I think do you think you couldn't go after any of these people in Washington, D.C. or in these state governments and find stuff if you wanted to?
I think you could in 90% of them.
Yeah, I think
absolutely.
Tons of them never get in trouble for the stuff that they do.
They're
all liars. Yep. They're all corrupt. They all find ways to make themselves rich off this stuff. Some legal, some not legal. If you wanted to go after these people, it's like Blagojevich, right?
Right.
Blagojevich is shady as heck. Like, I mean, what are you going to say about it? But do a lot of them do stuff like that and never get caught? Absolutely.
Of course.
Like, I think it's like that. And I think he got in trouble because he was not playing ball with the Biden administration the way they wanted him to. I believe that.
Yeah.
I think that's true. I also think, did you see that Cuomo has now been preparing to run?
Yeah, and that's VB had a great. Doug Gotti had a great experience thing on this earlier today as well, and this is also like resonating and hurting those swing districts
Right.
as well. I think that might hurt and that could be
Well, New York's so interesting. Like they had a really, really big rightward swing in 2022. Really big.
one of the few that was
One of the few that really did. Part of it was Lee Zeldin coattails.
My guy George Santos.
Part of it, I mean, that's really the reason why Republicans have Congress right now, with the thin margin that they do, is the swing in New York and those close districts in New York.
Yeah.
And Trump has been looking pretty strong in New York. So
yeah, but he's not going to win.
No, he's not going to win it. Weirder things have happened. I mean, he won Wisconsin and Michigan in 2016. So I mean, which nobody thought he was going to do. So anything's possible, but. You know, we could be having a totally different conversation about New York 10 years from now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
In terms of like the politics of the state. So it's an interesting thing. I mean,
should we do the chat?
We should do the chat.
Here we go.
Hey guys, John the Cock.
Hey John.
I wanted to call in and concur with Steve from Merrimack's chat. Actually, both of his chats from yesterday.
You're yelling at me,
Tom. You know, I worked in the Boston bar business, and all of us were familiar with establishments like Jacques in Bay Village. And
absolutely, site of the old Coconut Grove, as a matter of fact.
The Ramrodder.
Ramrod, I've never gone into. Never been in there. Been by it, though.
I think was down on Boylston Street across from
Fenway.
The old BCN.
Yep.
There was the Eagle.
Yeah, the Eagle, that's the one in the South End. There's also was Chaps. Chaps was a big one that I actually used to go with a gay friend of mine because they gave away free cigarettes.
In the South End. But Sporters.
Yeah.
Sporters. You need to be deep in that culture to know Sporters, to know that Sporters even exists.
Right.
So I concur with your...
Incorrect. No, because the only bar I could get into underage was the Red Hat. Red Hat was on Cambridge Street, up the street from Sporters. So once they would close, was the next
That's when
place.
Paul took you under his wing took you to Sporters.
He didn't take me to Sporters. We found Sporters. You could tell that it didn't have any signage or whatever, so it was obviously a gay club.
Oh. Is that how you tell?
Yeah. There's still one, or I think there's one across from North Station that still does that.
Your queenness,
Incorrect.
and having 5 kids, that's a compelling argument. But
thank you.
Anecdotally, my one of my good friends, his dad, divorced his wife very late in life. After my friend was out of college, and took a walk on the brown side with his male physical trainer. So
wow,
there's still time.
Is it latent?
And secondly, the oracle of conservative wisdom.
Yes.
His reemergence on the chat is just a blight on humanity.
Oh, come on.
He just listens to Jesse Waters and Hannity, and calls the chat with the most regurgitated garbage that's just not interesting and not intelligent at all. And I wouldn't mind so much if he wasn't just such a delicate flower that couldn't be criticized in any way, and is a disloyal chatter. So, my 2 cents. Thank you.
I think he makes some good points, and I like the fact that his stuff is seemingly read or from notes. It's a lost art working off of notes. But I'm more concerned about the baseless allegations about me and gay bars. I don't think that
maybe this is gonna. Maybe in like 10 years, you're gonna leave me for a dude. Is that possible?
I don't know, man. That seems like it would
Have you
be
been hiding it all these years?
I don't
It's like
think...
buried deep.
If it's buried deep, if it's there, it's definitely buried deep. I'm wasting a lot of time.
Being into chicks.
Yeah, and objectifying you in your own house. It's like, yeah. So I don't know.
He seems to like women. I will say that.
Thank you. It seems they don't allow. I'm too fat to be in the gay community. This is way too fat. Only you will be with us, else. Sorry.
Great all-you-can-eat
Did Tom
podcast
say
coming
he
out
was
tomorrow, by the way.
What?
There's a great all-you-can-eat podcast coming out
Yeah,
tomorrow,
please
by the way.
subscribe. Please, we had a blast on this one. This is very interesting.
Did Tom say he was kissing dudes for free drinks
What?
at a bar?
Yeah.
That is not true.
I heard that right?
That is not true. I was kissed by a man named Paul at a bar.
Like what were like passionate wet kisses?
No, I don't think so.
Some
No.
Nipple tweaking.
That is incorrect.
Oh, I sure hope that you weren't on all fours. Good God.
Did I leave that out? Yeah, no. I was in that
There's
bar.
like lots of beefing on the Chat Chat, actually. Ned Snark criticized Justin on the Chat Chat on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw that. There is. Oh, yeah.
So everybody's got a problem with everybody on the
I'm
Chat
going to have
Chat.
to bring that up
know.
during tonight's show, I think. Oh,
Is
damn.
it me, or is Kamala Harris starting to sound like Marianne Williamson?
Totally.
She's just so out there.
Right.
This is really bad. She's just bad.
She is, Dr. Chester.
I can't
Not
imagine
good.
how she can be president. I cannot imagine it. I mean, I think it's close to possibly happening potentially, but I'm gonna breathe a sigh of relief if Trump wins,
isn't
because
that the question? If she's president, who's president? Right?
I mean, whatever the wokest
Well-
person on Twitter says this week is going to be president if
holistic.
Kamala is president.
Holistic.
Well,
Hey, Phil.
I am convinced Trump will win the election.
Here we go.
Hopefully,
But
your
my
lips
main
to God's
concern
ears.
is, what will Kamala do after she's out of office? Well, I thought she could put together something, an audition tape that would really promote her emotional, her sympathetic voice, her feelings for the downtrodden, the firefighters, the factory workers,
Mhm.
and all underserved communities.
Holistic.
I think there's something that she can do, and it might be along the lines of the following.
Oh. Ooh.
So many animals live in fear and pain every day.
Oh, my goodness.
Abused and neglected
Is this
by
those
their
ads?
owners. These are the ones who can't speak up for themselves. What these innocent, loving animals really need is your help.
What do you think? Think she got a shot at that?
Uh-oh.
I think she's got a shot at that. So,
Who did that?
what do you
actual-
think? Let me know.
Do voiceovers or animal activism? I don't know. I don't think she's the kind of person who cares for dogs or cats. I don't think she's an operator. She's somebody who's on the move. She has no time to trifle.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Appreciate it. If you want to join for live streams all the time, you can do that at patreon.com/burnbarrel. But of course, you can always listen to the show for free on Apple Podcasts or wherever you like to listen. There's links to all that stuff at burnbarrelpodcast.com. That's also where you can go if you want to leave a chat message, if you want to roast all the other chat callers, which I guess is what everybody does lately. We welcome all of you.